Store all is a concept in Vista where basically if you have a combination of things from queues and the programmer, you can store them in a queue together. And Onyx can do the same stuff, it just works just a hair differently. So I've got this queue playing back with this blue look on my stage, and now I'm going to select these lights here and I'm just going to turn them on. Right, bring them up to full. Perfect. Maybe I'll point them over here just for fun. And then what do I do if I want to store all of this to my stage? Well, I'm just going to deselect. So I've kind of clicked in the space here, or I hit deselect. And then I'm going to type load, okay, or load enter. And then I'll go to my programmer and I'll see everything that's happening on my stage that's not at a default value is now in my programmer. So now I can go ahead and record that to a queue, store it, press enter, done. Now you can see I can stop this queue. I can play queue 2, and voila, everything is stored in it. Now in Vista, when you do a store all, there are a couple things it does, and Onyx doesn't quite do all those. Oops, excuse me for a second there. One of those is that it goes into the cuelist settings and has it auto start when you raise the fader and auto stop when you lower the fader. So that's just these two right here. Make them red and they're on. Nice and easy. What else? Queue timings. When we do go to store a queue, for example, maybe we just select, we'll just reload again. See, I believe we emptied our programmer. We can store timings for either individual parameters or the entire queue, or individual parameters for individual fixtures. And we could do those split timings with the fade and delay keys right here. Okay, so when we press record normally, we are able to go in here and set a fade time overall. It's just a single up and down fade time for all of the fixtures. Hitting escape though, I want to show you some magic, okay? Because just like in Vista, you can do split fade times. So if I want to take 101 through 109, or 110, sorry, and I'll select them, and then I could just press fade, and I can press 2/5, enter. That's going to go on all my parameters and do a 2-second fade in, a 5-second fade out. Similarly, I could do delay, for example, to delay, and then I could press just my intensity, and I could do 1 through 5. Enter. Now I've just entered a delay on intensity across these fixtures as well. So it's doing it just on intensity, strobe, and dimmer function for this particular fixture. I could store that up, record, build a new queue once again, and then if I clear everything and press play, we'll see those split fade times as things come in. Like so. Nice and easy. It might not be visual, but I think you'll find it works just as well. Fade and delay times as well can be stored into presets. So you can build presets with these just by going like 101 through 110, enter. Say I do fade, 1 through 10, enter. These parameters that are in here right now are just timings, and I could go record, put that in a preset, and use that anytime I want to build a queue. Nice and easy. Clear twice to clear your full programmer, and then we'll talk about the next item. Okay, if we do need to store a queue in between two existing queues, or store two queues on a fader, it's going to be really easy. So let's just go ahead, for example, and I'm going to select these fixtures right here. And we're going to go ahead and change their color. Sure. Yeah. And so we'll just record this on our queue list number 3. So we'll record, press the button under that queue list, or just press it here on the screen. And we've now saved that second queue automatically. If we wanted to insert a queue between them, we could just go ahead and record, queue, and then enter a number. So in this case, it would be 1.5, enter, and that puts it between 1 and 2. So now it goes from this cyan to the second cue with the magenta, the third cue with the green as we play it back. Nice and simple. How do you deactivate a cuelist in Onyx? Well, it's the same terminology as you're used to in Vista. It's called releasing. Okay, and there's a few ways to do that. One is you can click up here and hit the stop, and that's going to release that cuelist. Okay. Another way is if you're on a console, you're going to have a release key. Okay, so we've got that right here. You can hold that key, and then while holding it, you can press the cuelist, and it releases. Last, you can release all your cuelists by holding release and pressing snap, or vice versa. There's a little bit of nuance in there that you'll get to play with, and you can see a difference with how the intensity gets released before everything else between snap and release and snap. Try it out. I think you'll love it. Next, let's talk about priority. So when we're playing back a cue, you may have noticed that anytime we do something in the programmer, like change this color, it's going to have a higher priority. So now that I've grabbed the color on those fixtures and I've inserted it into the programmer, it's going to be the highest priority. So I can play other cues that modify the color of those fixtures, and they don't change as long as it's in the programmer. Now when I clear the programmer by pressing clear twice, it goes back to exactly where it was. Now this is another great time for a pro tip, is in Vista, you're probably used to having a programmer time, the time or speed to which things faded in and out of the programmer really nice. That's just right here under rate called live time. So now I can bring it back, clear it again. We get a nice half-second fade because I defined it right here. Okay, nice and easy. Okay, what else do we need to cover here? Really? That's it. We've talked about clearing. We've talked about clearing only some of your lights before, and so that's really all it takes. Let's go to our next video and talk about store part in Onyx. Thanks so much for watching.